Okay, I guess before I get into this, I should show what we've done. So this is Logistical Earth, a game about connecting insane amounts of logistics networks together to eventually have your logistics empire span the globe. We started off here in Martinique. This was our Babby tutorial first island. And it was pretty straightforward. We had a lot of things to do, and we did pretty much all of them. All these yellow things means that they are fully happy and fun. Let me get the text off the screen. Then, unfortunately, this game can only be captured by display capture, so, you know, it's how you know it's a truly excellent game. We managed to do pretty much the entire island of Martinique. We still have a few things that need to be done, but a lot of these need to be done via ports. We have the Martinique country itself as a area which needs a ton of goods at a huge rate, but we're going to be shipping goods to them to be able to fulfill that. I think. I don't know. It's going okay quickly. I should check my achievements on the game. We're at least at 1%. Last time I checked, we were at 1%. So, none too shabby. Then we moved over to the northern island of New Zealand, which compared to, like, let me zoom in. Pretty much like, that's a bad example. Pretty much this like entire space here is more or less the island of Martinique again. And of course we have a heck of a lot more than that to deal with. And we've dealt with most of it. I'd say probably about 50% complete on the northern island. They're getting their map from a thing called OpenStreetMap, which is an open source Google Maps-esque project. We did the Northern Island, connecting sort of everything up, which unlocked the ability for us to buy boats. We haven't really dealt with shipping yet because, as you can see, we have $620,000 dues available to us, and the cheapest ship is 1.2 million. We'll get there, but we had to choose between going to Australia and doing shipping, and I haven't really sort of worked out how to do shipping yet, so I thought we would go to Australia instead. How long have these taken? I think we've taken about 8 hours to do this, plus the tutorial island, and then of course, let me stay in a normal zoom so we can compare. So then we have this, and if I just sort of go over here, we also have this. This is 409 businesses that are, like 409 locations that are too bunched together for the game to accurately portray at this point. So we've been slowly going through Australia and unlocking bits and bobs. At the end of the last stream, we just managed to get into Sydney, and Sydney is, of course, chaotic and crazy. We will continue to zoom in until you see all of the various businesses pop in like this. A lot of these are just towns that require goods. Some of them are businesses. If they're green, they produce something. So in this case, this good produces textiles but needs cotton and wool yarn to do so. This one produces sand, and it's just a sand mine. It could be upgraded with some wood, which I imagine we'll do. It's crazy. And amongst all of this, these little yellow things are roadworks that we need to complete in order to, you know, unlock more. I say unlock more because we haven't even touched all of Sydney yet. That's just a small smattering. Now, as I've said previously, this game does show off the entire world. I believe, although I haven't experienced it yet, it's all with this level of detail. You know, maybe not North Korea or something, but it's gonna be impressive. It is very overwhelming. But right now we're still at the puzzle phase. So the puzzle phase is what I call when I go to a new area and I need to just keep unlocking new places. And there's sort of a puzzle metric behind it where, I have to find the goods for the roadworks and then supply those goods and complete the roadworks, explore some more, and keep on going down that route. So we're still kind of at that phase here in Australia. There's a few goods that we need to unlock, and we haven't managed to just yet. But one of the things we have managed to unlock, if we scroll on up to... actually, I've gone too far. If we scroll on down to Newcastle, if you can see it amongst all this, is the mighty train. So we didn't have trains anywhere else, but we have unlocked them here. As you can see, they're also quite expensive, but the game was nice enough for basically completing a mission, give us a free train to do. It's a mere 5 wagon diesel compared to, as you can see, some of these 10 and 20 wagon diesels. But that is able to carry 100 tons throughout the rail network, which is this thin purple line. And if I zoom out, you can sort of see the purple line. I wish it was a little bit thicker because it's kind of hard to spot. And I imagine that's even worse for you on stream. But it does connect a number of places. So even though we do have roads to Broken Hill now, but we didn't for a while there. Broken Hill was our iron ore mine, which we needed to take a train and set up a train to go on a network from Broken Hill all the way back into a warehouse that we created. So we created a warehouse here at Mayfield for that iron ore, as you can see here. By completing that warehouse, we were able to then use a truck to go from the Mayfield storage yard to Newcastle itself, which we get the iron ore and that produces steel. Fairly straightforward stuff. As we continue through the game, the logistical networks like this will get more and more complicated, but for now they are a little on the easier side. It's just a cluster, all of these businesses that need fulfilling. One of the things that we can do is upgrade our storage to store more, and that requires wood. This is beyond insanity, says one. Yes, indeed. So what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade this, and the game is fairly straightforward as long as you have... let's select the vehicle we want. We want one of these B-doubles, and select the wood, so we hold on that. And then if we move the map down to our supply of wood, we just hover over it, and it automatically sets in a route and sets the truck on its way. Now it needs 100 tons of wood, so it's going to take 3 trips, because that truck can only hold... if you go past insanity for long enough, suddenly everything becomes super sane again. Yeah, it feels like that. So that's going to take 3 loads. The truck moves quite fast because it gets a speed boost. The game is currently running at 4 times speed, and we've unlocked a speed boost for the trucks, just so that way it's logistically a little more capable. I'm going to go over here to the sandpit. The sandpit also needs wood, so we're going to pick that up, and we're going to also get you going. No vehicle access. Oh, do I not have vehicle access to this sandpit that I found? I find that unlikely. Wait, am I picking... Oh, I'm picking something that's in New Zealand. Yes. That's a problem. There are ways of color coding things and making it like that, but we haven't set that up yet, so... Sorry about the cough. I have more or less just woken up. No, I am very much a firm believer in using that at the right point in time, and I believe a game like this, Explosive Chrysalid, is definitely the right one. It is a game that tickles some part of my brain, something chronic, and that part of my brain is probably not like most people's parts of their brains, and I completely understand that. Yeah. So we're currently just using a single truck. We could be using multiple trucks, but this truck has a, like I said, a speed increase. So it's effectively like the culmination of 6 trucks, really, because of how fast and speedy it is. Now, it's taking this long route. To apologize about that obnoxious sound effect. I haven't found a way to make that sound effect less obnoxious, but that's okay. Part of the reason why it takes this route, of course, is because we've got roads that need construction first for us to use them. And you might notice as well that roads differ in color. So if I zoom in, there are these orange roads and there are these pink roads. I believe it's the pink roads which are the roads that the really heavy trucks can go on, but they can't go on the pink roads. But there's an upgrade roads button which will allow you to upgrade orange roads into pink roads, and they require yet more goods. So, you know, just some crazy shenanigans that the game likes to throw at you for no apparent reason. Let us upgrade this sand mine as well while we're here, and we'll have a look at the store and see if that improved how much we could. Yeah, so now our max is 1,194. It was previously 400. Let's turn our train back on. It's going to go do its trainee route, and it's going to go and fill that up. It's quite fast while it's empty, but it will slow down on the return journey. But that'll go and do what it needs to do for a period of time, and it will move on up after that. Okay. So what I'm at right now is the point where I need to figure out where I go next. Where I go next is, you know, what I would like to do is I would like to continue exploring Sydney, but I unfortunately cannot, because all of the roadworks require stuff that we don't have. Actually, this one requires sand, so I take that back. Let us do that. That seems quite simple. Why are you... because I'm on my... I was on the train, and the train can't travel there. So this is going to unlock some more that road bit, and once that road bit has been unlocked, we can move the truck and continue on down through these roads, exploring them as we go. Now, one of the things that I sort of don't like about the game is that it doesn't have an auto-explore mode. I can't just tell it to explore all of the new bit that it's found. It has to sort of be manually ran, and it is a little tedious, I would say. But that's okay. We got another one which requires sand, so let us go and do that. As I said, this is still the puzzle element of the logistics game. It's not at the point where I can really start. There are some of these that I could do, like I could do this place that just needs 54 raw cotton, but for the most part, or this place that needs 45 cotton yarn, but for the most part, we can't really do a lot of these businesses yet because we haven't unlocked the businesses that can supply them. So as we continue to explore Australia, we will of course find those businesses, and that's going to be good and useful. Alright, I think we're stuck now. Yep, you require dynamite or aluminium, and you require asphalt. And we do not have any of those 3 goods. So we're stuck there. We do have one that needs gravel here. I think we have gravel available to us. It's a long trip, but here in Australia, everything is a long trip. So let's go and get some gravel, shall we? Now, part of the reason why we're going to do this is if we scroll down at Wollongong here, we have Wollongong which can produce concrete. Concrete is another thing that unlocks roads. The problem that we've faced is we can't actually access it, and to access it we need concrete. from this direction. And naturally we can't get concrete because it's Wollongong that provides us with the concrete. So we need to find another path to Wollongong in order to get that concrete, and that's what we're aiming for. So the further we can travel down this road, the more we can sort of find a way in. I can already see that there's another road that requires concrete. The game is trolling us. Still, we will continue to explore. At the end of the last stream, I pointed out where I grew up. Because that's kind of one of the cool things about a game that does this, is that I can sort of show off, hey, look, I grew up here, and this is where it was and what it was like. You say no V... Oh, right, I couldn't even see this roadwork. I was too zoomed out. Okay, so I think that's most of the area explored. We do have steel. We could unlock this roadwork, but it's just a shortcut. It's nothing that's going to get us anything new. And my aim at the moment is to get us things that are new. So I'm having a look at all these roadworks, but no, most of them are requiring goods that we simply do not have. So obviously we can't take this roadworks because it requires concrete, and we need concrete from, like I just pointed out, Wollongong. So we have to find another way into Wollongong. My guess is it's going to be over here somewhere, coming in through these, you can see the roads here on the map. So that would be my guess. So we're going to try and find routes to that effect. We do have a route here that just requires wood. It is just a shortcut. Same with this rock one. We also have... Oh, actually, this rock one might be good. Yes. Alright. I think it's the 26. Yeah, it is the 26. So let's go and get 26 tons of rock to continue on unlocking our adventure. Now, we've also recently unlocked the path into Melbourne, Victoria, which is this southern part down here. Now, you can see that we have unlocked some, but that's because of the train network, this pink sort of spidery vein thing. But we have recently unlocked a path into there, so that'll be the next thing that we do after Sydney, and of course that'll get us access to yet more goods that we can then supply. I believe once we've probably done most of the eastern seaboard, which will involve Queensland as well, we should have most of the goods sorted, and then we can start filling this massive number of towns, which is when we'll start buying a ton of trucks to go and do that. Now, I actually I spoke about the roadworks being something that I don't kind of like. I sort of understand them being used as a gate, so that makes a lot of sense. And here is where I grew up, in Mount Druitt. But like, once you've passed the requirements for that gate, it should be kind of like a what's it called? Kind of like a Metroidvania sort of game, where, you know, you've passed that gate because you've got that unlock, so it shouldn't keep on requiring that unlock further in the area. But in this game it does, and it's a little bit frustrating. This is an obtuse game, so but it just means that there's a lot of waiting for something that I don't really need to wait for. Like, I've already got it sorted game. I don't need yet more waiting. So this will unlock another path, although I can already tell that it's got a roadworks that's going to prevent us. But who knows what it's going to unlock over here, so... Alright. Let's take the northern route, which is just going to be mostly temporary. I don't really care about the northern route too much. Yep, so we've unlocked pretty much all of the northern route. There is a gravel thing, but it looks like that could just get us into here, and I doubt that there's a supply of something, of goods there, which is of course what we're keeping an eye out for. Who knows where we'll find a source of clay or various other goods within this map. Interestingly, the map did take the points of like where I expected steel to be pretty much accurate. I said the steel would be pretty much like near Sydney, and it was, and the iron ore in Broken Hill, which it was, and the I imagine that bricks are going to be in South Australia, because here in South Australia we have had Adelaide's like largest sort of bricks works places. So I suspect that that's where we will find the next thing. Now we have a roadworks here that it requires water, and in fact this one does too. The water requirements are based on the fact that there are fires going on in these regions, so we need to help them put out the fires by delivering water. It's odd, but you know, whatever. I don't mind the concept. Yeah, so that's pretty much us still stuck. I'm wondering whether or not we need to unlock one of these goods, maybe to get into Wollongong itself. Because we've got this road here, but this road requires aluminium, which we don't currently have the ability to find. Yeah, I feel like I might just be going around in circles trying to get access to Wollongong, but that might not be where I need to go next. Alright, let's supply you with water. Huh? Is that... Oh, I must have clicked the wrong thing. There we go. It's a pity we don't have the ability to unlock this roadworks, because that would of course give us a massive shortcut through Sydney. We'd just start running through here. So one of the concepts that I said about this game that I think holds mostly true is that it's kind of like a Euro Truck Simulator where you don't drive the trucks. But you still have like goods that need to go from point to point, and working about it that way. And yeah, I kind of like it. Let's explore. I don't think there's going to be any other roads off of here, and there aren't. But you never know. There could have been goods. Let's also complete this road as well, even though it will take a fair chunk of time. We are here, so let's get it done. We'll start making money once we start being able to supply businesses and the like. We just currently do not have that available to us. Technically we're losing money because we have to pay fuel for like our train and stuff like that. So we're sort of like losing money when we're delivering iron ore, because we've got to pay for the iron ore and then we're just putting it in storage. But it'll become useful eventually. Alright, so we got another B double unlocked for us for completing the second part of the bushfire quest, which is what I wanted to do. So we now have a secondary B double. Let me move this. This window always likes to be in the way. I'm going to move that up the list. And actually what I'll do is I'll move the train up the list as well. And the train can be the differentiator between New Zealand and Australia. You can see New Zealand's flag and Australia's flag are very similar. Which is just an interesting aside. Okay, so now that we've explored most of Sydney, we have access to textiles, although we have a limited supply of textiles, I think. I don't think we have both cotton yarn and Oh, maybe we do. Okay. Ah, see, this is what I mean when I'm talking about the logistics things getting quite complex. We're starting to get to that point now. We need wool yarn and cotton yarn to provide textiles, and textiles aren't going to be the last part of this chain either. There's going to be things that will require textiles to get turned into other goods, and so that needs, cotton yarn. But what does cotton yarn need? Well, it needs raw cotton and flowers, and so it does get fairly complicated down the logistics track. Not hugely so. Like, if you've played some hardcore logistics games, it's pretty mild, really. But on a game this immense, it's really not surprising. Okay, let's go and sort of work out how we gain access into Victoria. Cool, we've got Wodonga, which is another train station, so purple is train station. And unfortunately Wodonga doesn't produce anything for us, but it's something to pay attention to. Okay. See a bunch of roadworks, but I don't actually see the... Yeah, I don't understand these roadworks. I will state that this area... There we go. It was just glitching out. There we go. That makes more sense. It's the first time I've seen it have that issue. So yeah, I was pretty sure we were up to the point where we needed rock to continue into the roads, and currently this seems to be the case. The next thing we're going to want to do is leveling up our rock supplies and all of our goods supplies to the next level, so that way they can produce more goods and produce them more efficiently. Now this doesn't look like it's an ingress point necessarily, because we hit yet another roadwork here. What do you mean locked? I thought we unlocked Victoria. Did we not unlock Victoria? Give me a moment. That might be why I stopped. We get quests to unlock Victoria Road Fix. Here we go. I have to complete Wodonga, Australia. But Wodonga, of course, as we just had a look at, is a rail, and it says, hint, you'll need to use rail to complete the town. So let's have a look at that and what we need. So Wodonga needs lettuce, iron ore, and rock. Well, iron ore should be nice and easy for the train, so there is that. Let's tell it to not repeat its current load, and then we can at least get the iron ore there. The rock is really annoying because it needs 111.5. Our train is 100 tons, and the minimum tonnage it requires is 100.3. So we're going to have to do 2 trips for the rock. I watched 2 old ads for you, Vane. I hope that makes it into your bank account. I wish you could make it so that way you never had to see ads, Olive. But unfortunately, I'm not Twitch, and that's not how Twitch works. I do use an ad blocker that about 50% of the time works on Twitch ads, but not always. Not always. Okay, that train is slowly getting to its destination. Ever so slowly. Like I said, once they're full of goods, they take a long, long time. So we're going to have to create a store that provides lettuce and rock, and then use those stores to supply Wodonga with the required goods. That'll unlock Victoria for us, and that's pretty much where we're up to. So he's going to drop off all that iron ore, and then he's going to have to pick up iron ore again, but that's okay. Alright, while he does that, let us go and take our 6 times speed B double and figure out what we're going to do with it. So we are going to need in Mayfield. Ah, cool. The next level up for the store requires 500 tons of steel, something we're super able to do. So we can provide 2 more industries in Mayfield. So we can do yet another store. I'm going to pay the 9,000 for the maximum amount of it. And we're going to want that store to hold lettuce. And then we need another store. I don't know what level of store I provided there. That could be bad. Let me try that again. How much lettuce do we get for that store? Can you... let's try that again. Okay, so that store is 400 lettuce, which is obscene. We definitely don't need that. So let's try spending a little bit less, maybe 4 of 10. And I've already forgot. I think it's rock. Yeah, it's rock. Rock. There we go. Okay, I don't know what that 4 of 10 did, but they both seem to... Maybe it's the maximum level it can attain. So we're going to supply lettuce into that until we get to 100, and rock into that until we get to 120. So let's do that. The lettuce will be the most complex one. This will be easy, so we'll start with that. Now, in order to get more rock, I suppose we could send one of our other trains to do what needs to be done with lettuce. So lettuce is produced here in Ulladulla. But as you can see, we only have 28 tons of lettuce. It's because they're out of fertilizer. We can do something about that. We can send one of our other B-doubles, which are quite slow, to go and get fertilizer. And fertilizer, unfortunately, is this worm farm. But in order to increase the capacity of this worm farm, we need crates, and we don't currently have crates. We don't have, even if we did have crates would probably require planks. We don't have the ability for planks, so we'd be stuck yet again. And here you can see the difference in speed between the 6 times truck and the 1 times truck. It's a bit of a difference. And this, remember, is with the game running at 4 times speed. Okay, how is this looking? It has 80. I think I'm okay with sending the train off now. Because by the time the train gets there, I think the truck will probably have offloaded another 20 tons. Now, one thing that I didn't think about, and yeah, this is already becoming a problem, towns eat supply. So, as you can see, that number 3.8, 3.4 point, so on and forth, is basically the number that is required to meet the demand. And that keeps going down because we've partially supplied the business, but we haven't completely supplied the business. Not the business, the town. Only towns do it. Basically, things with population do it. Businesses, you can, like, partially fulfill a business and leave it there for forever, and it won't trickle down at all. But towns are another story entirely. That's fine, I'll just deliver another 100 tons of ore, and that'll be fine. Alright, so in that entire trip, it's taken the 1 times speed truck to get its fertilizer. So I'm probably going to get to about 140 tons of rock. Oh, actually, maybe a bit more. Let's tell this not to repeat, because we definitely don't need it to. And we'll switch it to doing lettuce. Now the problem with the lettuce, of course, is that it's only doing 28 tons of it. So that's partially why we need it to level up, and hopefully we'll be able to. Because we need 100 tons of that. So when the fertilizer gets here, that'll finish the experience bar. Basically, the experience bar is, the lettuce farm needs to be used by you in order to level it up. And currently, we're not doing anything that way. So, you know what we're going to do here, right? Our six times truck is going to go and get some fertilizer. Look, I tried to manage it in a way that made sense, but it just didn't work. Let's not turn it on repeat, because otherwise it'll go back and get more fertilizer, and we don't need that. Unfortunately, it needs crates to level up again. I can't imagine how many heads of lettuce would we need to get 28 tons. Yeah, it's probably a fair whack, that's for sure. Alright, let's go back to Mayfield. Alright, the train is delivering its second load of rock, which is good. Once it's done that, we'll get it to hopefully deliver... We'll probably get it to deliver iron ore, and then we'll let it finish with lettuce. I think that makes the most amount of sense. Alright. Does take a while to unload 100 tons, but that's fine. Let's get you to grab some more iron ore and drop that off. Yeah, if we have a look at Wodonga now, you can see that we've overstocked rock. That's the additional sort of green bar going around is. We've overstocked it by a fairly large portion, but that'll make sure that it doesn't run out while we take this route. That should be all we need this way, I think. Let me have a quick look at Mayfield. Yeah, 108 tons. Let's turn you off, and then we'll reassign you in a little bit because we do not need it to grab more stuff. Alright. Now what's interesting is that by completing a town on the rail network, this train should get a bonus. It won't be a speed bonus, but it could be a booster, which will speed it up when it's empty, a power boost, which will speed it up when it's full, which would be really quite nice, or a loader, which will speed up its loading and unloading. Both of those are pretty good. The booster, not so much. So hopefully we get a P or an L once we've successfully completed this town. And that'll be pretty good. I'm also hoping, let's click through. Oh no, you're going to click through all 58 of those. Okay, let's zoom in. I'm also hoping that we can delete these stores. Because, I don't want this place to be completely locked with lettuce and rock. I mean, rock maybe, but lettuce? No. Alright, train, it's time for you to deliver lettuce. This will finish Wodonga, and this will open up those locked areas. They'll stop being locks, and they'll start being goods that we can supply. And hopefully, one of those goods is something we can actually supply. It doesn't get rid of them, it doesn't fix them, it just changes their status from lock to something else. Where's an example of that? Because yeah, the game is, it's because I'm on, it's because if I have the rail selected, it gets rid of the roads and highlights the rail. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, look at you, game. Doing sensible things. It's amazing. We, of course, if we do need to fully get the rail network working. We haven't fully explored the rail network yet, and there could be some goods that are really important further down the rail network. Right now, I'm not sure, but. We'll also get we won't get much money, we'll only get 18,000, but it is some more money, because we have been hemorrhaging money a little bit doing this. Alright, so there we go, we've completed that. So we have got our Victoria Road fix. Now, this is another train depot, which is good. We don't currently have a road access to it, but when we do get road access to it, it'll provide us with 5 industry slots, which will mean 5 of these single stores that we can use to store goods. That'll be pretty good. I'm now going to have a look and see if I can get rid of the single store that is over here, because like I said, a single store that just deals with lettuce is not super useful. So you're not going to let us buy industry. I don't know what that map means, but it's it means something. Yeah, maybe we can't. Yeah, maybe it's locked in. It's interesting, because that could have been a soft lock situation, right? Like I could have built single stores for other goods, like opals, and that could have potentially soft locked me from being able to access. Yeah, interesting. Who knows? Maybe there is a way to delete it, and I just don't know which way it is. I will have a look at. I'll have a look at that off stream, assuming I remember. I haven't remembered any of the other things that I needed to look at off stream, so it took a while because I'm bad at math. But if you use a US ton, it's only around 3,030 heads of lettuce. Well, there you go. I don't know, that made you seem pretty good at math, honestly. So we've got a gravel road here. I'm going to start with that if we can. So there should be a bunch of industry in Victoria, which we can hopefully gain access to. Okay. Yes, I want you to explore. Thank you. Okay, let's explore those little bits. Let's focus on exploring these big bits. Okay. Explored a lot down here. Any of these that we can fulfill? No, we can't. I'm getting the feeling asphalt's going to be the next thing that we unlock. I could be wrong. I just get that feeling. Alright, let's double back over to here. Let's see what we gain. Okay, none too shabby. Now we can move down here. Okay. Roads closed from... Okay, so we've got another town that we need to complete. So there are further roads that are going to be locked, and in order to unlock them, we need to complete Barnsdale, Australia. So let's have a look at Barnsdale, shall we? Okay, that's going to take a while to complete. But the roads that they're talking about, I don't actually know which roads they are talking about, because we haven't stumbled across any roads that are locked yet. They've all got symbols on them. I'm wondering if some of them are these, but no, these are all water roads. What about you? Here we go. So, but we did discover a paper mill in Barnsdale. So we do have a new good available to us, paper, which should be useful. I don't remember whether or not we found limestone. I don't recall. I think we haven't found limestone, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me zoom right out. We did find limestone. Excellent. Go forth and procure me limestone, game. But yeah, what it's saying is in order to take the short version, the fast version into Sydney, you are going to need to complete Barnsdale. At least I think that's what it's meaning. We can do these water roads, that's fine, but this, yeah, in fact, this road here is also water. So I'm not going to rush to do them because they're shortcuts that we don't necessarily need right now. But what about this little bit of roadworks? So this one's also locked, so yeah. Basically, we can't deal with these two locks until we've done Barnsdale. That's fine. That is a goal that we can definitely have at some point. Okay. So far we've found a lot of towns, but not a lot of new goods. Okay, we've found the next two lots of roadworks. One's gravel, one's steel. We can provide both of those. So 39 gravel and 50 steel. Let's do the 39 gravel because that's a single truckload. Okay. And this should get us right into the heart of Melbourne, which of course will be just as crazy as Sydney was. Maybe a little bit less crazy, but not hugely so. Melbourne's a pretty cool place. I quite like it. It's kind of like Australia's food capital. Like, if you're into food, Melbourne is the place to be. And well, I didn't get this fat not being into food. So, alright. Let's see how we're going. Hopefully there isn't a whole bunch of little road... Oh, why did I say that out loud? Okay. I'm like, hopefully there's not a whole bunch of little roadworks. Mostly the reason why I want that is because it's such a pain to go and get the goods. So we've got sand, which we can definitely do. We've got wood that we can definitely do. Rock that we can definitely do, and limestone that we can definitely do. So pretty much everything except for clay we can currently do. Let us do wood, because I think wood is going to be the... it's 54, whatever. It would be the fastest. Would be the fastest. But we'd need to unlock these. If we unlock these, it'll be perfectly fast. Just zip right down. Barnsdale is going to take a sweet, sweet time. So here's the thing. I assume that these blue lines are the shipping lines. I'm sort of interested in seeing how the shipping lines work because, Like, if I can start shipping goods, I know that there's these quarantine-y things. I'll show a quarantine off. Like, there's a quarantine here which tells you that a bunch of goods can't go from the North Island to the South Island. Yeah, I don't quite know how the ports and port structures work. They're going to be the thing that we sort of investigate next, I suspect. They do require a minimum of 1.2 million, though, in order to do, but that's okay. I'm assuming, and perhaps I'm assuming incorrectly, that they won't allow me to bring in goods like, concrete and stuff like that. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do, and maybe that's how you get access to the concrete factory, is by bringing in a shipment of concrete to unlock the roads to the concrete factory. Sure. Okay. Road unlocked. Let's continue on in. So part of the reason why I'm sort of moving out, rather than focusing on the center there, is because like resources tend to be either in the capital city or they tend to be in these sort of surrounding areas. So, and what I'm really looking for is new resources more than anything else. But so far nothing. Victoria has been a fat lot of no good. It supplied me with paper, and that's about it. There must be a roadwork there that I can't see. Yep, right there. Okay. Could go and get a steel for this top route. No, let us continue exploring. Because... Actually, I say let us continue exploring, but it seems like we're also at a similar point inside. So here we go. It's on this second tier, what I consider a second tier of goods. Concrete or planks. And we've got dynamite and aluminium, which we definitely don't have. And oil that we also don't have. Not sure where we're going to get oil. That is all boats. I don't... Okay, this is the first time that this hasn't made sense. There's a river here, I suppose, but I don't understand the requirement for boats. I definitely do not understand. Alright, well in that case then, let's go up north and get this steel sorted. It's a long trip. Speaking of getting steel sorted, we should continue to grab iron ore and deliver it. Or I suppose the other thing that I could do is go and investigate the rest of the rail network, actually. Since we have access to a lot more of it. Who knows, we might find one of the goods that we need somewhere else. So we have goods here in... Let's go to Darwin. The centre of Australia is desolate. Oh, excellent. We got Booster, which speeds up the empty vehicle. So this is a great time to use it. So we have Kubapedi. Kubapedi produces opals for us, so when we need opals, we can get that. Looks like the B-double has done its thing. We'll go and have a look back at the train in a second. Let's continue on exploring Melbourne itself. Okay, we found a couple of new industries. We found a cereal factory In Fairfield, Australia, must be Kellogg's. Requires milk, sugar, and corn. Yep, definitely Kellogg's. Kellogg's making cornflakes. Fancy that. And the good old meat pie. And Fitzroy's meat pies are quite famous. Requires ketchup, flour, and beef. Well, fantastic. So right now, we have no way of providing the goods for all of them, so they have a limited supply. They're not super useful to us just yet, but that doesn't mean that we won't be. Okay. Well, we've done one side of... Melbourne, and from the looks of it, we just went through the other side. So we have access to a lot of Melbourne. Melbourne didn't have any goods that we required, really, but that doesn't mean that the rest of the state doesn't. Well, remember, we've only managed to do this portion, and a little bit over here. So there's possibly some stuff in here. I don't know that there is. Actually, this is a national park, so I don't actually think that there's roads necessarily. So I think we have, yeah, we've fully gone around that. Okay. So of Victoria, we've done probably about half of it. Let's focus on this other half and see if we can find some more interesting goods. Of course, if we keep hitting roadworks, that's going to be a problem. And we do keep hitting roadworks. Thankfully, they're like gravel or steel roadworks for the most part. Do we want to go down? Sure, we can do... Is the gravel one easier? No, it's not. We can do 46.5 tons of steel, sure. It's a long trip. That's okay. Let's go have a look at the train. So did the train stumble across anything new? It doesn't look like it. Alright. And that's a terminus for the train. Okay. Let us continue on training, but this time we'll take the train over this way. We'll see whether or not we can find anything here. Alright. It's going to take a long, long time. Now, I do imagine that trains can get sped up as well. We just haven't done anything to sort of get that happening. Whilst that's going and doing all of that stuff, let's have a quick look at the industries and see if there's any industries that we can level up. We could definitely do something by bringing the fertilizer to this place. So let's grab this B-double and get it fertilized. So that seems like a good idea. Yeah, Bellcat, still my only train. I don't really need trains for the most part, so that's kind of okay. I don't think we have access to raw cotton or flowers yet. We do have access to raw cotton. Up here at St. George. Also requires fertilizer. Let's get you to grab some fertilizer. No vehicle access. Huh. Is that still the case, out of curiosity? Ah, we do have some locks. But it also looks like we've got unexplored roads. That doesn't seem right. Let's grab you. Go explore that road for me at your glacial pace. Ah, no industry output. That should be fine. It just means we need to supply our steel mill with iron ore again. That's not going to be a problem.